Hello, today I have a short video about Scia Engineer and absences. The absences is a special type of input of structure where you can define a group of 1D or 2D members of supports or more groups, and you can assign these groups to load cases, and then these assigned load cases will be calculated without of these groups. So you can use it, for example, for assembly situations of your structure, where you have only a part of the structure on the building site, or for example, for transport of the structure. Sometimes is used also as a replacement for nonlinear calculation of tension only diagonals. It's not correct way how to use the absences, but sometimes it's used, and I think it's a good way how I can present this functionality. I have prepared a small example with few load cases, for example, wind from left, wind from right, and vertical load, and self-weight, of course. What we will do for the wind from the left side, this diagonal gets pressure, and usually because it gets some bending from self-weight, and usually it's simply a small rod on angle profile, then it cannot accept pressure. So only this diagonal, which have tension, will be activated, and this one we want to deactivate for this load case wind from left side. And for wind from right side, we will deactivate this diagonal. So first, you need the functionality for the project. Go to the project settings, then to the functionality, project settings, functionality, and activate the model modifiers. In model modifiers, you can change the stiffness, for example, but there are also these absences included in this. We need groups. For example, for the assignment to the load case, I need a group of members of or supports which will be assigned to the load case, and this group will be then not present in the load case. So I need these groups. And these are these model modifier groups. So they are in the libraries in structure modification groups. The first one is I write absence for wind plus x direction. And then the next group is absence for wind minus x direction. Okay, I have two groups. Then I activate one of them. I go to the load cases here, go to the modification groups, and then I can switch between wind for plus x direction, so I can deactivate the loads. This is this button. I have it on L. And now I can input the absence to the member or support. We do it for the member. So this is in all workstations. If you want to find it, is here. If you don't want to look in all these icons, you can do different things. You can go, for example, to structure, and then you see less amount of icons. And also in these categories, there are here these model modifiers. So you see only the valid icons or functionalities which you can use. So this is for 1D. For 2D, we don't see it because we have only structure with 1D members. But usually, for a 3D shell structures, you will also the absences for 2D members. So I go to 1D absences. The name is not important for me at the moment. Input, right mouse button, or escape if we don't use the right mouse button. Then switch the group, add it to the next one. So the input is done. Now we have to assign these groups to the load cases. So we have to go to the load cases. load cases here. And for wind plus x direction, I assign the modification absence for wind plus x. And for minus x is this one. Everything is done. So you can change to load cases and then you see the load cases, or you can change to modification groups and you can switch between the modification groups. So you can switch it here. What we have to do, groups, view settings. Okay, right mouse button, view settings. In model, you can activate these model modifiers, absences or not. Apply and then you see them, or you can deactivate them. So I go back, view settings, absences. And if you activate them, you can also here define which one do you see, but I think it's easier to do it with this button of load cases. Apply. Okay, now we can run the calculation quickly and check the results. In the results, for the wind from the left side, there should be no force in this one diagonal which was deactivated. So deactivate the loads. I go to internal forces. For example, for sulfate, sorry, it's in German. For sulfate, you see, I go to extreme values for member. You see, I have forces, internal forces on all members. But if I go to the load case wind plus x, then this diagonal is not present in the load case, should also have no forces. And it's true, it has no forces. For wind in minus x direction, it's only tension but no pressure. As I thought, it's not the correct way how to calculate tension diagonals, because usually you have combinations, vertical force and also wind, and you cannot know from start. For example, maybe the wind force is very weak and the vertical loads are high, and then in this case all diagonals get pressure and will be deactivated. So the correct way is to use nonlinear calculation, but I have seen at the customers that for this clear steel hulls or steel frames, they sometimes use it. It's quicker than the nonlinear calculation, and I think it's a good way how to present the functionality. So I hope it was clear and you learned something. Thank you very much. Bye.